Hey, this is Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get life-changing jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And that includes my very special guest today, Dan, who was living overseas in Thailand for 15 years and had just moved back to the United States with no money and was living with his parents when he found my course. He hustled very, very hard and actually got his first entry-level job in digital marketing. And within 3 months, got promoted to his current digital marketing position where he's making over $70,000 a year. He's very happy with his new career and financial stability. And his story is actually very interesting because he had a very unique career before this that burned him out. And now he's very happy with the work-life balance of this new career. So I'm very excited to share his story with you. Thanks for being here, Dan.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super pumped up to be in this interview.
Me too, man. Thanks for being here. So why don't you tell people a little bit about what your job is right now?
Currently, I'm the digital marketing specialist for Chadwell Supply. We're America's largest family-owned multifamily company. Basically, we're the Amazon for multifamily properties like apartment complexes, stuff like that. And my job right now, it covers a wide variety of things, but I focus on mainly SEO, content creation, like helping upload the articles, we publish articles, and even other things like running trade shows, running conferences, and stuff like that. And so a wide variety of marketing related things.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a lot at that job and you're being well compensated for it. We're going to talk a little bit more about how you got into this, got up to that salary so quickly. And, you know, if you're at a job, I always tell my students, if you see a job posting that says you're going to be helping out with events, do not take that job because that is usually a low-paying job that they would give to a recent college graduate. However, as you explained to me, you got your job through your PPC knowledge, your SEO knowledge, and your primary thing is the content, which is the more valuable skill set. And then on top of that, they have you doing some other things. And when I worked at the drug rehab center I worked at, I was doing PPC primarily, but because when it's a small company, or I shouldn't say a small company, when you're working in-house for a company, you may find yourself doing other things. Like I shot video for them. I did some phone call, some management stuff for them. And it's cool when you work in-house like that, it's often a good salary and you get an opportunity to do different things. But anyway, your story is very interesting. So now you're working this digital marketing job. And is it remote or is it in the office?
We do 3 days in the office and 2 days remote. So basically I'm there every Monday, Tuesday, I'm home Wednesday, there Thursday, and home Friday.
And do you enjoy that? Do you like the mixture?
Oh, I love it. I actually would prefer like this rather than full remote for my style. And everyone I work with is amazing. So yeah, I actually very much enjoy it.
That's really cool. I think it's the best, honestly. Myself, I'm used to, running my own business, so I'm fully remote for many years now. But I do miss that ability to go into an office and socialize. It's really nice to connect with other people and to know, and also to not have to do it 5 days a week, to do it just a few days a week. So I'm happy you're so happy in your new career. Your story is so cool. Why don't you tell people a little bit about like what you had told me? Like, what was your life like, after you graduated college? I think it was how many years ago?
Yeah, it was around 15 years ago. So the first thing is I graduated. I went to Thailand. I didn't know I was going to live there for that long, but that's how it worked out. In between there, there's so much to go, but it is interesting, I guess. I moved to Thailand. I did the whole teaching thing, teaching English. And then we helped build like an English camp company. And from there, life changed. I moved to Australia for 2 years. In Australia, I worked on a crab boat in the Indian Ocean. We did all that stuff. Also worked in a cafe, all these type of things. When I was in Australia, I got accepted to work for Emirates Airlines, right? But my home base was still Thailand. So I got accepted to work at Emirates Airlines. My home base is Thailand. I'm getting ready to go move to Dubai. So I moved back to Thailand for 3 months at that time. I'm waiting to get my flight ticket to move to Dubai. During that time, I learned about DJing, right? And anyway, I go to my first DJ class, and in my first DJ class, I get the call from Emirates. Okay, we got your ticket. You're ready to go. Your apartment's set. You'll be leaving on this date. And then I was like, oh no, I just fell in love with this new thing called DJing. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna go to work as an air hostess or follow this new dream? So I decided to go for DJing. Didn't let Emirates know. Just didn't show up to the flight. Didn't show up to the apartment they got for me. Just a real piece of work I was. Anyway, I struggled through that whole DJ life, trying to be cool. And yeah, it kind of popped off. I ended up getting to travel around and DJing festivals, meet all the people who at the time I thought they're my idols until I met them, and then they turned out to not be my idols. And yeah, it was really fun. It was really cool, but time passed and I realized it really wasn't making me happy at all. It was actually making me depressed. So it was time for a change. So that's kind of when I decided to move back to America. And I didn't know at all what I was going to do, but I saw your course on YouTube and I was like, well, I was DJing, you're kind of marketing yourself online. It was very similar to, I thought I kind of did that a little bit. Yeah. I ran some ads for myself for my music. So yeah, I decided to take your course and it turned out to be a really good thing for me. It was like it was that push I needed to like follow some path, you know. So
That's
I was
that's
pretty lost.
that's amazing, man. I like to unpack that because it's obviously one of the more unique stories we've heard over here, and I can relate, having myself gone through a lot of different, different careers before I found digital marketing. We were joking before where you said like I introduced you as, you'd said when you moved back after the DJ life, which had burned you out, you were living with your parents, you were broke, you didn't know what to do, and I was saying to you, I think it's a little more relatable to people than hearing that you had the DJ life and you're out there traveling and getting paid to do festivals, which it
Yeah.
sounds like it was very exciting. But from my own experience in the entertainment industry, I also know that these lifestyles are not sustainable. They're maybe exciting at first. There's an incredible amount of dopamine, but as you said, it's very competitive.
Mhm.
It's hard to make true friends. I'm sure there's a lot of drugs and drinking, and people get very burned out. Um,
Mhm.
and so, but I didn't want to title the video like from like festival playing DJ to digital marketer, because most people would be like, well, why would anybody want to leave that life? Maybe you could, listening, it might just be interesting. Explain, why did you want to leave the DJ life?
Yeah, I mean, there is exactly what you said. I mean, there's a lot of drinking. I didn't get involved in any of the drugs or anything like that, but there is a lot of, it's not a healthy lifestyle. You're going to bed super late, you're waking up super late. You you're dealing with very you're dealing with high ego people, and I'm not necessarily that. And I would just sit back and look at people who are still doing it and they're in their 50s, and I don't want to be that guy. They don't look right. They're weird. I don't want to be that person. And I had my fiance at the time too, and I'm like, I don't need this lifestyle around me. So she was a DJ too. She her too. We're both at the same time. We're both like, this is not cool anymore. I don't want to have to go to work and color my hair or there's only so many times you could tell people to put their effing hands up before you get bored of doing that.
It's so interesting. Although, as I said, I'm sure most people would
Yeah.
find it very exciting. But I look at it, I
It
don't know what it's like to live that life, but I do know that, like, obviously I'm a big
mhm.
fan of someone like Avicii, who was, legendary performer, but
Yeah.
these guys, it doesn't mean that they're happy. There's
Yeah.
something about, was it the fame, the crowds, it's,
Some people are meant for it and some people aren't, and I'm just not. Yeah.
yeah. I don't think the people who are really are. I think that's why there's so much. I mean, honestly, there's so
Mhm.
much drugs. I mean, I live here in southern Thailand, and I never go to the full moon party, but it's like, it's just crazy the amount of drugs that are done at these festivals. So that's, without
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
into another topic, I would say it's
No disrespect to any of these people who are doing it. I mean, it is cool. It was fun. I'm not saying people don't follow some path, but just realize some of the things that happen behind the scenes and the destruction it can have, and then realize that there's a thing like digital marketing or this. I'm dealing with amazing people every day. Ooh, drop my mic. But anyway, I'm now in the digital marketing world. I'm dealing with amazing creative people every day who care about their family, who they care about the people around them. They're not competing with you. They're trying to work with you to create amazing campaigns, and it's exciting. It's like I love this cooperative atmosphere.
That's wonderful, man. And I mean, I can relate to that too. I remember when I was in the film industry, everybody's very cool in the film industry, but they're you know, it's also it's similar. It's like as people are pursuing either an artistic or some type of dream, and there's like it's not very grounded, I guess you'd say, is the energy.
Mhm.
And when I got my first accounting job, like back in my 20s, I was so loved it. It was a something
Yeah.
about the stability and the fact that you're dealing with, you know, good people, and you said you have that team experience. And then when I got to the digital agency, and I was like, okay, I've left the kind of artistic world. Now I'm in the more regular job. The digital marketing agency is the first place where I had the same experience where I was like, wow, this is like really fulfilling work.
Mhm.
And it has an excitement in it, a different kind of excitement that's a little more nourishing, I think.
Yeah. Stability is very exciting. That's what I'll
I
say.
think as you get older, you really find once you get past 18 or 19, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and that's well, you said that very eloquently. I'm more judgy about the stuff because we would where I was living in Copenhagen, it's funny, it's a very spiritual type island, and it was very peaceful. And then suddenly everyone discovered it from like Europe and everything. And then every
Mhm.
month, the full moon party, 30,000 people come descending upon the island and just go insane. So the local, the
Yeah.
people who lived there for a while, we didn't like the
Thailand,
time. So that's me.
Thailand has changed a lot. It's even when I moved there, it was pretty quiet. There was elephants walking on the streets in Bangkok, and then it's so different now. Oh my gosh.
Wow. We should talk about that. There's still spots that are very, you know, still very quiet, but some of them are getting discovered. But anyway, man,
Mhm.
this is very interesting. We'll get back to the digital marketing because I know that's what people want to hear about. So you had this lifestyle, you decided you wanted, you know, something a little more grounded. You and your fiance, you wanted to focus on, you know, on your relationship, and you're living at home with your parents. You had told me that you said you came back without any money, so you obviously needed some assistance.
Zero.
So what was the process like of getting, you know, into the course and getting into this first job?
So getting into the course was literally me trying to figure out what I want to do. And I had no idea. I didn't know digital marketing was a job at this point. I never thought about it in my life. So, and if for real, the way it happened is the most typical way. I saw your YouTube ad. I judged it immediately as probably a scammer, but he seemed legit. And I think you might have mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned you're in Thailand, or I could just tell by the architecture of your whatever room you were in. But I was like, this guy seems like he's in Thailand, and kind of relate. So I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. And you know, probably the biggest factor was it wasn't like a subscription. Like if I pay now, I only get it for a year and then I don't get it anymore. It was like I pay this and I have this. So I was like, that's pretty appealing to me. So yeah, I pulled the trigger, I bought the course, and I went through it just like how you say to go through it. And a huge part was the very beginning where you just kind of like pump people up, getting people ready and prepared to like learn. You know, I don't. It's been. I need to go through it again, but it was really cool to me. It spoke to me. It resonated with me. So anyway, yeah, I went through the course just like you guys said. I went through it once, didn't take notes, went through it again, took notes, did the PPC spreadsheet. Spreadsheet. That's where my mind at. I did the PPC spreadsheet, and yeah, use that to my advantage to help me apply for jobs. And I applied for a lot of jobs, knew nothing what I'm talking about. Got turned down like 10, 15, 20 times. I don't even know how many. And quit too. I quit. I was like, this isn't for me then, you know. I I wasn't used to saying people saying no. But so I took a little bit of time off, tried to discover myself again. And then at some point, I don't remember who I talked to, but I talked to someone from your class who went to Arcadium. They use Arcadium. So I went there and I was like, I'm just gonna do some free stuff for a little while. Did that, and that's what helped me boost my confidence to like apply for another job. And the first one I applied for after that, I got the job. So
That's awesome, man. And it's a very typical path, you know, guys. And a lot of people feel like giving up, which makes total sense when you're in the job search. But you really have to keep, you know, it's not like you just got the, you know, confirmation, inspiration from the other student to just do what I say to do, which is keep getting your hands on client accounts. Because the more experience you get, the more, as you said, more confidence you get. And then I think it's great
Mhm.
that, yeah, this is, like you said, the first one to apply to after many rejections. And again, guys, the rejections are totally normal. it's not just like, oh, it's okay. It's like it's expected. It's part of the game, you know. So
Mhm.
you got this job, and then so this was really cool, guys. That you know, you 3 months into this position, he was up to about 70K in salary, which is a very fast transition. But why don't you tell people a little bit about how that happened?
Yeah, I mean, in the company, how it happened, I literally just was always there, always helpful, trying to throw my knowledge around. And we were growing big time. We needed to add more people. And they saw me, they saw the experience I generated through the course and through helping out in some like restaurants and stuff like that. And they were like, hey, you know a lot more than just social media. You know, you do this, you're always here for us, you're the problem solver. You know, we ask you, hey, can you do this? You always say yes, and you find a way to do it, even if I maybe don't know how to do it, but I find a way. So yeah, they bumped me up after 3 months to digital marketing specialist and the team lead. So yeah, I wish it was like a more interesting story, but it was literally just always being there, working hard, and being like nice to people, really being there for people. And that goes a long way, even more than maybe your experience.
It does. It doesn't have to be complicated, guys. Actually, it reminds me when I got my first six-figure job. I did get hired at a good salary. It was my 3 years into my career as an in-house company. Um, and it's similar to what you said. Like I was on a bonus structure. I was helping them perform, which they liked. But I was same thing. I would figure stuff out. I would get things done. I stayed late. I really liked what I was doing. I remember actually what they started to promote me. In fact, they had hired a guy to manage the digital marketing team, and they actually ended up firing him and giving me his job because I was more driven, like you're talking about, than this guy was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the funniest thing that we needed a live chat on the website. And I guess the other guy or somebody had been talking about it for months. And I just did it. I just went in, like found a live chat software, got a free trial or something, had the web developer put it on the code on the site. And then I was like, told the boss of the company, like, oh yeah, we have live chat now. And he's like, how'd you do that? I was like, I just did it. So they just like people that get stuff done. And that sounds like that's what you experience. And this, guys, for anyone listening, I'm telling you this story just to remind you, that's the attitude you want to have.
Yeah.
You want to have the attitude of not, I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what to do or how to do something. Try to figure it out and be okay. So I screw it up. People,
Mm-hmm.
even my boss at that old job, I remember, he even said this to me. He was a good supervisor. He said, I'd rather you just try and fail at something than to just wait around. So that's
Mm-hmm.
obviously it's worked for you. And now, now that you're in this position, how do you like the job in your new career?
Yeah, like I said, I love it. I mean, it's there's a lot to do, a lot to get done, a lot of new things I'm learning every day on the spot. But yeah, like I said, I work with amazing people. We're always there to help push each other, help each other out, and yeah, I really love it. And it's it's been eye-opening for me, and I think it should be for other people too. Like because I took your course, and I'm thinking like I want to do PPC. I want to be a PPC specialist, and that's literally not what I do at all right now. And that's what having an open mind and like not being afraid to take some chance in something that's a little bit different. I will end up doing PPC here as well. I do that. We will run ads, more ads. We run some, but we will run more. But like being open minded, taking a chance, to get stepping out of your comfort zone, it's so important. There's no reason like what do I want to pigeonhole myself? And if it's not this, I'm never gonna do it. No, be open minded. You never know what other things you might like or be interested in. And yeah, I get to do so much more that I never knew I would do or thought I would do and thought that I would hate that I don't hate. Like it's really fun. It's really
That's
fun job.
awesome. That's yeah, guys. I mean, that's why I teach you to some people ask me, I only want to do PPC, should I learn SEO? And I'm like, yeah, you should learn everything. A little bit about each
Mhm.
thing. You don't know, you may transition. I've had people move from social media to paid search, from paid search to SEO. The thing that excites people about this field are the options. That's, I think, what you're
So
speaking.
many.
Just having all these options and
Yeah.
maybe discovering a new path that you didn't know about. Um, so this is cool too to hear this because I do get a lot of people who did love PPC or SEO and they went that path. But
Mhm.
are doing SEO, but you're also doing the website and you're helping out the company, and now you're going to do PPC. So I'm just excited to see you, focused on something that you're enjoying. And what I was going to ask you was, so how has this affected your personal life and your relationship and all these things compared to, your lifestyle before this?
It's just funny to hear even how has it affected it. Yeah, it's like night and day difference. Whenever I think of myself, what was it? It was probably like 3 years ago now. When I think of myself at that point, I'm like, who was that human? Like, I can't even believe it. I can't even look at the old pictures and like believe that that was me. I was so different. And anyway, now my personal life, it's so much better. I get to wake up in the morning. I get to see the sunlight. I get to go to bed when it's dark. I get to see now she's my wife. We just got married not long ago. And, I wake up in this nice spot. I go downstairs. We have a river. It's amazing every day. My life is good. Life is really good. And it's just nice to have like a schedule that you can follow. When you're going to work, when you're going home. You're off on the weekends. I like that. Life is good.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's hard to explain. It's very hard to explain just how nice it is to have some stability, to know like what you're getting paid, to know that you have money coming in, that the next bill is not a problem. Yeah. Okay. Don't even think about it. It just comes out of the bank and
Absolutely. I think a lot of people can relate, and it is funny thinking about, as I said, artistic. Like I know, I listen to actors a lot, and some actors move from movie production to TV, and they'll say, "Why did you do it?" And so many of them are like, because the movie life is like the DJ life. It's totally unpredictable. You're working 14-hour days. There's no schedule. You're away from your family. And when people work TV shows, they're usually in one location with like a set schedule. And as you said, there's stability. And I think that's what's also really funny coming out of your, teenage years and into your 20s. Like, most people are still chasing the dopamine and the excitement. Not everybody. Some people are already looking for stability, but I think at a certain point, I remember when I started to get excited about stability, even took me in my 40s to want like a committed relationship that's more stable, I think when you have that stability, that's the foundation from which you can really enjoy life. And you look much happier, I'm sure, than you were lifestyle. And also, you can move out of your parents' house and support yourself and be with your wife, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it's really great. I was in movies too when I was in Thailand. I was probably in like 200 Indian movies, I think. So I understand that scene as well.
What were you doing? Geez, man, you've done a lot. Were you an extra, or you mean you were on a crew?
No, I was like extra and some more main parts. I was always a tough guy, like the tough guy in the
Really?
back.
Well, if you have links to any of the clips, I'd like to see them.
I wish I knew where they were. I wish I knew. It was a long time ago. Yeah, that you're so right though about that scene too. It's literally the same as the
it's a
music scene.
burnout.
It's so
But that's
similar.
Generally speaking, guys, I mean, you hear people, I've talked with people who worked in healthcare, who worked in finance, who worked in all sorts of other fields, who are burned out. And that's one of the things people love about digital marketing, is that it has this not just stability financially, but it's just, there's something about the culture and the work that you do that's also very, very, good work-life balance.
Something I think is interesting for people though who like say you do love music or you love that scene or whatever, digital marketing is part of that. You don't have to, all these big artists, they have digital marketing teams. Like you could still do work in the field that you love, but in the digital marketing side of it, there's all that. You love music, oh, you could be a digital marketer for Spotify maybe, or that can be a dream that you're chasing. You could still do the hobbies you love in digital marketing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. And you can also, I mean, what I say is like, I've written a couple books and, made an independent movie. It's like, if you want to be an artist that, in the old days is very different for the internet. Now it's the internet, you're going to have to market your stuff anyways. If you want to be a singer, record your music and promote it with digital marketing. If you want to be an author, write a book and promote it with Amazon. It's, same thing with movies. It's what everybody does. So I think it's one of the
Mhm.
most ubiquitous skill sets you can get, whether you want to use it for something creative or for a job or your own clients. There's just a lot of options.
Mhm.
So that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us. I'm gonna let you go in a minute, but I wanted to ask you, is there anything you want to say to me or anybody watching the interview?
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, you didn't know it, but you changed my life, and I know you've changed a lot of people's lives too. I'm so thankful that I took the course, I took the chance, that I didn't quit on myself more than 2 times. I just did it once. And yeah, it was, yeah, just a life-changing experience. And I just hope that everyone else who takes the course, they go through it. They go through it like how you say, go through it twice, to do generate your experience, and yeah, keep an open mind. And when you're applying for jobs, don't pigeonhole yourself. You just apply, just keep applying, tailor your resume for that job application, very important. And yeah, go through your interviews and be a good person, and you'll get turned down. I did. I got turned down a lot, but the people who accepted me are the exact people who I want to be around. So I'm super pumped about that. I love it. I love going to work every day. And yeah, I've never dreaded a day going in. And that's how my life is right now. I was like happy every day. And yours could be too, for real.
That's awesome, man. Thanks so much for sharing. And can people reach out to you on LinkedIn if they have any questions for you?
Yeah. Reach out to me, ask me whatever you want.
That's cool. I'll leave your link in the descriptions. All right, Dan. Yeah, man. Thanks. I'm really happy. I appreciate connecting with you and I'm happy for your success. Let's keep in touch. I'm sure you're just at the beginning of your career.
Mhm.
Thanks for the words of inspiration for everybody watching and we'll talk soon.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.